And those whipping ball, guess who that reminds me of? I done a video on it. That remind me of Trippier. Those are Trippier kind of balls. And Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now this little clip encapsulates how I felt about the Brentford match. Take a look at this clip.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you.
After watching that match, I have to say thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Now, if you see my previous video, you realize that I was giving Benjamin White a big shout out. I was giving Kai Havertz a big shout out. And see, these are the reasons why I give Kai Havertz a big shout out. Now, look, first match we play against Brentford this season, he's the one that got the goal for us. Only 1-0, and he's the one that got the goal. The winner at that time. And in this match, he done it again. Both occasions, headers. And Kai Havertz, for me, has been improving time after time, match after match. And there's no doubt that he has to start against the match against Porto. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that he should be starting over Gabriel J, over Nketiah, over Trossard. He should be starting up top, that is. But we might see, and that's the thing. I want to get into that. Tune in for that video. I'm going to be basically bringing it tomorrow. Of the team lineup, because that's going to be, I'm predicting a weird one tomorrow. I'm predicting Arteta to give us a weird one. But in the match against Brentford, we scored 2 goals, 2-1, and the XG was 1.3. Shots, we had 17 shots to Brentford 9. On target, we had 5, which is a bit poor, and that's why we haven't been outscoring previous matches, because previous matches we have about 50%, and that's about just over 8, and we have 5, so we have 3 or more below our shots on target that we normally have. We had 12 shots open play, and we have 72 possession. And when it comes down to passes, we have 598 at 477 completion. Field tilt, we had 80% of the field tilt. Final third entry, we had 68. So all in all, we had a superb match in all aspects. And people might be wondering, how did Brentford keep the score that low? And we had so much dominance in the match. I'm wondering myself. Now, when you take a look into how we were lined up, the first minute of the match, this is how we were lined up. You see the attacking this intent from the team. For the past few matches, we had some crazy attacking intent straight off the bat. And this, you see, we've got Kai Havertz on the left, we've got Odegaard on the right. So basically, we're attacking, we're pressing in a 2. We're pressing the keeper, pressing the defense in a 2. And we have Declan Rice there, we have Jorginho there, and we have Saka. So Trossard is playing deeper. Trossard is playing just above Kivior. And when we go into the other clips, you will see how deep he is playing. But Trossard is playing deeper, and these are 5 attacking players most of the match. And they're trying to goat him to either go to this guy on the right back where Trossard can start pressing him and Kivior start pressing. But this is how we were attacking most of the match. Now, by pressing this high and by pressing this aggressive, Brentford got very scared. And look, they made a mistake in the first few minutes of the match. They're passing it to Saka. Now, look at the option Saka has. Now, this is 4 against 5. We are the situation of 4 against 5 because of how we press high, because of how we press them to the bone. Now, if it's another team that basically have more players in their defensive half, so when we're pressing, they'll have more man advantage in that area, then they won't be having any players going forward. So they have to have a balance. Brentford trying to have a balance in the players they have defensively and the players they have going forward. So if you want to have more players than this, just know that you're going to be playing defensively. And playing defensive against Arsenal right now, you're asking for a 5-0. You're asking for a 6-0. So understand the manager's mindset to basically have half and half. Half in the midfield and attacking areas and half in defense. Now this half, they were nervous because they see Odegaard pressing, they see everyone pressing. Now they got the ball to Saka. Saka had 3 options. He could give it to Jorginho. See, Jorginho is pointing to recycle. He could pass to Jorginho, he could pass to Odegaard, he could pass to Kai Havertz. And so by pressing that high, we get a good advantage. But look at this. When you take a look at Saka now. Saka had the most carries in this match. Rice second best. And you see Benjamin White over the right hand side, which is most passes. And he's high in the passing progression and he's high in the carries progression. And when you take a look at all our players, all our starting 11 are basically above everyone. Not even one of Brentford players are in our category in our league in terms of ball carrying and pass in this match. Kai Havertz was the lowest, and he was still higher than all of them. And the reason why he's the lowest is because of how he's been playing. Because when he plays up top, he doesn't drive as much. He doesn't pass as much in terms of progression, because the progression comes to him. The progression ends with him most of the time having the shot. So he's not involved in the progression unless he's playing in midfield. So this is why he's low. And even though he's low, he's still higher than their midfield. He's still higher than their wing backs. And most of the time, the midfield and wing backs and wingers are most of the time they're the one that has the best carries and pass progression. But we see Kai Havertz even above them, which is very good. Everyone else is expected to see Gabriel Saliba. We got Gabriel, we got Saliba, and we've got Kivior. These three basically centre backs by trade, and we see Gabriel Magalhaes is leading them by both pass progression and both carrying progression. So Gabriel Magalhaes was having an absolutely good one. Benjamin White, I would say, is traditional centre back. He used to be a centre back, but right now, man, Benjamin White is attacking mid for me. Right, he's attacking midfielder playing with Odegaard. So he had the highest in terms of defensive-minded players. Even some of attacking, because he's higher than Trossard. He's higher than Trossard in progression, carry and pass. So he's higher than Odegaard in both as well. So he's the third best on the pitch in terms of progression, pass and carry. The third highest, Benjamin White. We've got Saka, we've got Rice, and then we've got Benjamin White. Man, I love it. Now, this is why I said that we miss Martinelli. Now, you see, Jorginho, in the previous matches, you see, when Jorginho opens his body up looking for this pass, you see Kai Havertz intentionally making that run because he knows what's going to happen. But look at Trossard. Look at Trossard circling that red. Trossard is basically at a standstill because that's not his gameplay. His gameplay is not to get behind of the defenders. His gameplay is to come short and to pick up the ball short and then create space, create opportunities. And we see that this hinders our chances, because then the defender can easily mark him. The defender can easily mark that ball over the top. And if it was a 2 or 3 players, sometimes it's Saka joining, sometimes it's Benjamin White. If there's more than one players doing those kind of runs, it will get them basically open up, because the defenders have to trap back with the attackers. If you can see, look at behind Kai Havertz, there's a little gap there. But with Trossard, there's not much of a gap there because he's standing still. But if he tried to make that run, the defenders would have to follow him and then creating space for Declan Rice in that little pocket right there. So this is why I say that Martinelli is instrumental with us scoring 5-0, 6-0 and those kind of scoreline, because of his runs, because of how he opens the game up with his speed, with his pace, and he's got some good shots on goal. Not to say Trossard hasn't got good shot, but the way Martinelli plays is suited for a high scoreline, especially when the defense is tired, going at them. Yes, so that's something I saw off the bat. Now, this was the cross on Benjamin White that led to the first goal. We see a few things right now. First of all, we see Trossard at the back post. But before we get to Trossard at the back post, there's something we need to understand. Look at the triangle between Odegaard and Saka and Benjamin White. Now, the Brentford manager, it looks like he done his homework. He knows that, listen, if I can try to stop this triangle, then I can possibly hold them basically to a scoreline that's better suited for them. He tried. But once again, Benjamin White is on the scene. Arteta figured out that they could have done that, and he made a counter attack. Arteta made a counter attacking play by having Benjamin White doing those whippings, and those whipping ball. Guess who that reminds me of? I done a video on it. That reminds me of Trippier. Those are Trippier kind of balls, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. These are his type of balls that he normally get in first early crosses, first time early crosses, or sometimes he pulls the defense left, right, and then do some early crosses. And that's what led to Declan Rice's first goal. Benjamin White having that, but we have to also understand that that bring up 5 players out the game. This triangle between Saka, Odegaard, and Benjamin White took 5 players out the game. Now, these 5 players, one of them should have been marking Trossard at the back post, because you could have said that this guy is for Trossard, but he's trying to cover Declan Rice, because you see that Declan Rice is coming in at goal. Now, he's got 2 men. He's got Trossard at the back, and he has to pay attention to Declan Rice, because this guy in front of Declan Rice is not. He can't mark him from behind. Yes, someone has to be in front, and you see him pointing to that defender, telling him to cover him at the back. So they've done all they could do, but it's just that they were lacking, because 2 players. Look, there's 2 players trying to block that avenue for Odegaard coming to have a shot. There's 2 players trying to block the passing lane going to Saka. So they tried to think, they in their mind, like, we've done all that we could have done. Now, they did not expect Benjamin White to be whipping it in like Trent, to be whipping it in like Trippier. And that's what he done, and that's what led to the first goal. That was brilliant to see. I love that. So we had 9 players in attack in this phase of the play. And Brentford have the entire team. Look at Tony. Look where Tony is. Look at Tony, and we even had Gabriel going in attack. So we have William Saliba and the keeper basically are the ones that's further back, and then everyone else is on the attack. Look at the space. Look at Kivior on the wing. Look at Benjamin White on the wing. And we created so many overload in the zone 14, and then that leave space for the wingers or for the right backs and left back, because Kivior is the left back, Benjamin White is the right back. That leaves space for the wing backs to basically be playing high up the pitch, creating another option for passing lanes. Man, the way we play Brentford is not the same way we play against the other teams that we beat by high score margin. It was different and it worked. Even though it went down to the wire, it still worked. Now, this is another one where you see this time it's 6 players, not even 5. After we scored the goal, they're like, no. Ivan Toney need to come back and help me. This triangle is too much. So you see that they got Ivan Toney there marking Odegaard. Now we took 6 players out. But this little triangle, listen, do not underestimate the triangle of Saka, Benjamin White and Odegaard. From January onwards, this is why we'll be creating so many chances and scoring so many goals, because of this, most of this triangle right here. And Jorginho doing some of those balls over the top. So that took 6 players outside the game. You see Wissa there, and we've got Tony, and then we've got their winger, their left winger, and 3 defenders. Took them out the gate instantly. Now look at this. That leave 4 of our players against 3 of theirs. Overload. Listen, you could have went to Kivior, you could have went to Declan Rice, you could have went to Havertz, because this guy number 15 isn't in any position to mark any of our 4 players. So he's just there for like for knockdowns, or if Odegaard trying to play on the ground to any of these players, he's just there. But if it comes in the air, that's 4 against 2. Because this number 15 couldn't do nothing if that ball was an aerial ball. That Odegaard play right there. So you see how many chances we created, or potential chances we create. Because that should be, Odegaard should find Kivior at the back post. That would be a goal for Kivior. That would be an easy shot on target minimum for Kivior. Now, this led to the shot for Brentford, which I believe was Soppy from Kivior. Kivior basically, as he was marking this number 22 at first, but then he dropped back. I'm thinking, why are you dropping back? You did not read this, you didn't assess the pitch. Because if you have, you're trying to hold the line with the defenders, right? But even though Magalhaes would have been offside, played this guy onside, and worst of all, he didn't look behind him and see that, listen, Ivan Toney is being played onside. So this is what I'm saying, Kivior messed up, and because of Kivior, that could have led to a goal. This number 22 had a clear header at goal, and thankfully he missed that. Now, this is our team out of position. And once again, you see Havertz, Odegaard and Saka over on this side, because they have to protect Benjamin White. Because most of the time, Benjamin White is playing centre mid and he's playing attacking mid and striker. So we have to have loads of players on this position to cover him when he attacks. But when it comes into Kivior doesn't attack as much as Benjamin White. This is why we can only have Trossard there protecting Kivior. Trossard is playing deeper than all these front 3. And it's because he needs to be, because he's the only one that's protecting Kivior. And one of the reasons, because Kivior is a better defender than Benjamin White. Better one-on-one defender, better overall defender. So this is why you only need one person that's helping Kivior. But on Benjamin White, because he's playing highest most of the time, and because he's not as good defensively as the other 3, we have to have 3 players to cover just in case they got a little break. Now, this is another thing I noticed, that with Benjamin White, he's looking for a pass. He did that because he looked up, he got the ball, looked up, see if he can pass. Look where Kai Havertz is, not in a position to score. So guess what? He recycled, and then he come again, and then he actually found, saw that Kai Havertz making a run. He found him, and that led to the goal. Now, this is another thing you see Benjamin White again in the increased or decreased chances of scoring the passer. The XT, Benjamin White is on top. Then you got Jorginho. Saka has the most when it comes down to set piece, but when it comes down to all passes, Benjamin White is on top, man. He's on top. Now, when you take a look at Gabriel Magalhaes was, as what I said in my video yesterday, Magalhaes and Ivan Toney, look at them going neck to neck. This basically was the duels, right? Gabriel Magalhaes was in 17 duels, winning 9. Ivan Toney was in 16, winning 9. One of them obviously was not against Magalhaes that he won, but it was 9-9. And man, I love to see the battle. I love to see the fight between Ivan Toney and Gabriel. It was brilliant. When you take a look at Saliba was in 12, significantly less than them, and he won 6. So he won half of his duels. So that shows you that Wissa, he was a pest. Even though he's short, he was a pest against William Saliba, because he won 6. Saliba only afforded to win 6 of those duels against 12, while Gabriel Magalhaes, oh man, Gabriel Magalhaes won more than half. So that's the video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Help me on my journey to 1,000k subs. And look out for the video tomorrow, because I'll be doing a match preview for the game against Porto. This is a big match. This is a decider for us to go through to the other round, man. And we all are needing of this to stay in the Champions League for a very long time, going to the final and potentially winning that trophy. So catch you in the next video. Make sure you look out for it. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.